Yeah, I think a lot of us expected a certain degree of closures throughout the Archdiocese. In my particular area, we were surprised because we had already been downsized quite a bit. I've gone from about 15 parish schools to 4. We lost our high school in the area. So I think we were fairly surprised by some of the proposals, especially since a few of the grammar schools, particularly St. Laurentius and St. George, in our view, were doing fairly well. There's also St. Hubert's, was the Catholic girls' high school that's slated for closure. We think that's devastating not only from an educational point of view, but certainly from a community point of view. In many of these parishes, if the school closes, the parish is not far behind. You have the diminishing of the neighborhood, and again, I think it's the fabric of the neighborhood. As many cases I talk about it, the neighborhoods that some of these schools in are good neighborhoods. They're good neighborhoods because of these schools. So we're very anxious to keep them open. In terms of our role up here in Harrisburg to try to do that, we've been grappling with voucher legislation, different versions of that, charter school legislation, EITC expansion, with which our schools have taken advantage of, educational improvement tax credits. So that gives a corporation who pays state tax an opportunity to contribute to a scholarship organization for which they get about a 90% tax credit off their taxes. That scholarship organization then contributes money to a private school. In the past, we've had organizations like the Bridge Foundation contribute $20,000 here, $20,000 there to places like North Catholic, Little Flower, St. Hubert's, and some of the local schools. That gives them the opportunity to create scholarships for students who maybe have a problem finding the wherewithal to pay tuition. I think of all the proposals in Harrisburg right now, that is the proposal that we're most likely to get passed. I think we tried right at the end of 2011 to get that passed. We haven't given up on that, but we can't seem to rally around a particular proposal. I would like a more broad-based voucher where everybody has access to it. The current proposals deal with income limits. They deal with students in failing schools. I think under those proposals, even if passed today, it would take too long to get up and running to help our current situation. But the appeals are taking place as we speak. Here in January, we hope that some of those appeals are successful, particularly in those schools that are independent and have the financial wherewithal to continue. And I think, in some other cases, when you have a warning like this, it's more than a warning right now. It's slated for closure. But speaking as a graduate of North Catholic in the early 90s, we were slated for closure. We at least lasted another almost 20 years. We're hoping that same thing can be said for some of these schools that are slated for closure.